morning, boys and girls. My name is Miss Terry Ann, and this is my dragon friend, Reedy, because he likes to read. Welcome to Dragon Delights Week. We're going to start today's program off with a story called The Paper Bag Princess. It's about a prince, a princess, and a dragon. Do you think a princess can outsmart a dragon? Let's find out. The Paper Bag Princess. Story by Robert Munsch, art by Michael Marchenko. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burnt all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find that was not burnt was a paper bag. So she put on the paper bag and followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forest and horses' bones. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. She took hold of the knocker and banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." He slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Go away. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I'm a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." "Wait!" shouted Elizabeth. "Is it true that you are the smartest and fiercest dragon in the whole world?" "Yes," said the dragon. "Is it true," said Elizabeth, "that you can burn up to 10 forests with your fiery breath?" "Oh, yes," said the dragon, and he took a huge deep breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 50 forests. "Fantastic," said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 100 forests. "Magnificent," said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge breath, but this time nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball. "Elizabeth," said, "Dragon, is it true that you can fly around the world in just 10 seconds?" "Why, yes," said the dragon, and jumped up and flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired when he got back, but Elizabeth shouted, "Fantastic, do it again." So the dragon jumped up and flew around the whole world in just 20 seconds. When he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he lay down and went straight to sleep. Elizabeth whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon." The dragon didn't move at all. She lifted up the dragon's ear and put her head right inside. She shouted as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" The dragon was so tired he didn't even move. Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave. There was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and said, "Elizabeth, you are a mess. You smell like ashes, your hair is all tangled, and you're wearing a dirty old paper bag. Come back when you are dressed like a real princess." "Ronald," said Elizabeth, "your clothes are really pretty, and your hair is very neat. You look like a real prince, but you are a toad. they didn't get married after all. Well, I'm very glad that that princess outsmarted the dragon. And now we're going to create a princess paper bag puppet so you can come up with lots of ways to outsmart a dragon while you're the paper bag princess. The materials you're going to need today are a paper bag. You'll need some construction paper. We have pink, brown, blue, yellow, and red. Perhaps some jewels, some googly eyes, a scissor, glue or tape, a marker, and a pencil. So to get started, we're going to make the face for the princess. Let's start with a piece of pink. In order to make her mouth, I'm going to cut out a heart shape that is short and fat. So I'm going to roll around and point it in, roll around again. And it's okay if you start making it too big, you can always just make it smaller with the scissor. So it looks a little bit like a heart shape, short and squat. Now take your scissor and cut it in half so her lips can open and she can talk. There's the lips. Now we need to make the tongue. The tongue is going to be like an oval with one side that is flat. So cut out a piece of red construction paper and open up the flap and insert it in and figure out how long you have to make it so the tongue doesn't hang over her mouth. And we'll start with one long side going down, start into an oval, go around, and we have a tongue. If you made it too long, oops, we can just cut off the top and make it shorter so it will fit. Beautiful. Next, we're going to take our googly eyes and we're going to trace them so that we can make the blue part of the princess's eyes. I like to fold my paper in half and cut two eyes out at once. So take one googly eye, put it down on the paper, hold it with your finger, take your pencil and just trace right around the circle. So you have the circle mark on the paper and use your scissor to cut all the way around. And because the paper is folded in half, I'm going to be making two circles at one time. But you can always make one at a time if you like. Here's our two circles. There's our eyes. Now it's time to put them on the paper bag. So we're going to get our glue stick and we're going to take the top part of the lips. They're going to go on the bottom part of the flap. Make sure you have your bag so the flap opens so you can make your puppet talk. Put some glue onto the lips and right there on the flap, like so. Then take the bottom part and put on the glue and put that right below, but not on top of the flap. So when the flap opens, you have two separate lips. Now it's time for the tongue. A little bit of glue, put it underneath, all the way up to the top of the flap, and there we go. We've got the lips and the tongue. Next we're going to put on the little blue circles for the eyes. 1, 2. Then we'll put on the googly eyes. And then you can use a marker if you'd like to make some eyelashes and perhaps a cute little button nose. The next part we need to do is the hair for the princess. We're going to take our brown construction paper and we're going to measure it so it's as wide as the paper bag and just cut it down to size. See, it's as wide as the paper bag. Decide how long you want the hair to be. Cut across. And then we're going to cut out a rectangle for her face. So we'll have the long hair on the sides and her bangs on top. When you go to put it down, if it's too long or too short, you can just use your scissor to cut it a little bit more so her face shows. Fringe for some bangs. And make some strips here so we can curl her hair. Curl it up. And then we'll glue that right on. And last, we're going to make the crown. I find the easiest way to make the crown is to cut a strip that's a little bit shorter than the hair, the width of the hair. Make that into a square. And then we're going to take the square and fold it in half. Line the edges up, and it's nicely in half. I'm going to take my scissor, and starting at the one point, I'm going to cut down on a diagonal, then go to the other side, the other point, and cut down on a diagonal till the two lines meet. You might have to cut again on the other side. And when you open it, you've got a crown. We'll glue the crown on. And then if you have your activity bag, you can find the jewels. Try not to throw them all over the place. And peel off the adhesive on the back. And we can put beautiful jewels on her crown. And here we have our paper bag princess puppet. Now you can go and try to figure out lots of different ways that you could outsmart the dragon so that you could free Prince Ronald. Well, we had a fun time today with you. I hope you had a good time also. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow when we make a paper chain dragon. Bye-bye.